I've been recording a live Prepare.Defend.Lead on Instagram, kind of daily at the beginning of the year. Then I kind of petered off a little bit as I was preparing for our move. So I'm going to get back into it, but kind of fighting a little bit about Instagram because I've been shadow banned. Yeah, they're really kind of sticking it to me. I don't think that I've gained a follower on Instagram in probably the last couple years. I'll go up 5 followers and down 3 and up 2 and down 7 and up 1 and down 4. That's been going on for quite a while. Doesn't matter if I put out a lot of content or put out very little content. So I'm going to try posting these on YouTube going forward for a little while I give my Instagram account a break. Hopefully I'll get let out of the penalty box and can start going again on Instagram at some point. But for right now, I'll post these things up on YouTube. And if things go well here on YouTube, I'll do that into the future as well. So I wanted to talk today about freedom. We recently moved into a new development down here in Texas. Just had a new house built. It's really cool setup. I'm really excited, really happy about what we're doing and where we're at. When we signed our contract and our papers to move into this development, one of the things that we really liked about it was there were virtually no rules. Part of this development is we have a 5-acre lot, but we can only fence off 1 acre so that we can keep our agriculture exemption to help with taxes. But other than that, virtually no rules whatsoever. And that was probably one of the main reasons that we bid. So moving forward now, I think a little over a year since we purchased it, and we built our house right away. We probably have the first full real house built in this development. A lot of people will just sit on those properties for the next 5-10 years. It's just an investment. Some people have just put small cabins or tiny homes on just so they can use it for vacation or for the weekends. Kind of cool that different people doing what's good for them. I like it. That's freedom. But one thing that happened after we moved in is another company was put in charge of some things, and they started telling people that if you want to build a house in this development, you need to pay $300 and submit the plans to us to give the okay of whether you can build the house that you want on that property. My wife told me about this. She saw it in a Facebook group, and I said, well, I'll tell you what, that's not what we signed on for here. Of course, we're already done, so it doesn't really affect us. But the advice that I would give these people is just go ahead, carry on doing what you were going to do according to the contract that you signed, which said that there were no rules. And then she brought it up to me again a couple weeks later and said, yeah, that some people are waiting to get their approval, and they've already submitted their $300, and now it's taking a long time for them. And I said, well, that's a mistake. The more people that just start doing what they're asked to do when it's against what we had originally signed up for, the more of an issue that we are all going to have moving forward. Well, sure enough, a couple weeks later, somebody decided that they weren't going to follow those rules. And in fact, I don't know if they had got a lawyer involved, or they just questioned things themselves and said, hey, we're not going to pay this $300. We are not going to allow you to look at the drawings for our home to give us approval. The paperwork that we signed when we moved in said we didn't need to. And sure enough, this it's not really a homeowner association because we just don't have one there. This organization came back and said, you know what? You guys are absolutely correct. We have no jurisdiction over anything that you guys were to build there. We do not have jurisdiction to say what you can or can't build, and we cannot charge you to okay your drawings. They apologized, and it's not an issue. any longer. But that's my point with freedom. Unless you embrace the freedom, unless you just abide by what was initially agreed to, they'll suck you in, take that money out of your pocket, and make you abide by their rules when they have no legal jurisdiction over you. This is something we need to be careful for. There are so many things that we have exchanged for our freedom for safety in this beautiful country that we live in here in the United States. Sometimes I refer to it as Candyland, because we're all bubble wrapped, right? There's guardrails everywhere and rules and laws, many of them meant to protect us, to keep us safe, and the insurance companies from paying out, right? But there are some things that I'm willing to exchange, right? I'm wearing a seatbelt right now because I will exchange my freedom of being free of the safety belt for the safety of it. Or you're on a construction site wearing a hard hat, things like that, right? Fully willing to accept that we need to exchange some freedom for some safety. But there seems to be becoming more and more things that they're using the guise of our safety in order to take away our freedoms. And of this, we need to continue to be wary. We recently got a new puppy. I love having puppies. I don't know about you, but puppies and dogs and kittens are some of my favorite things. Really, any baby animals. Baby animals are just fun, whether they're goats or baby chicks or ducks. They're just cool. Fun to play with, fun to watch as they learn and explore. So this puppy that we bought is a mix of Anatolian Shepherd and Great Pyrenees. Same as our other dog, but this one happens to be a beautiful red, like a fox. Just absolutely beautiful. And she has a wonderful temperament. But she, for her first 10 to 12 weeks, was out in the mud, out in the dirt, out surrounded by chickens and ducks and all sorts of farm animals, because she was being raised up to be a livestock guardian dog. They need to be used to all of that stuff and be around those animals from a very young age so that they can do their job correctly. So as we brought her into our house, she'll, of course, with us, well, I shouldn't say of course, because we have had livestock guardian dogs in the past, but at the present place where we're at, she'll be more of a pet, much, much more of a pet. Her job will be really to keep an eye on my kids. That'll be first and foremost. So when she came into the house, she was real good about going outside to go to the bathroom. But like any other puppy we've ever had, my wife would put her in a crate, a dog crate, when she would leave to go grocery shopping or whatever. And she'd come back a couple hours later tops, and the dog would be a mess. She would go to the bathroom in that crate, and she would just be covered in her own filth. And they would clean her all up, get her all shined back up again, and then a few days later they'd need to go out. They would put her into her crate, which is usually the right move for a puppy, as dogs and canines are very good about not relieving themselves in their own den, and the same thing would happen. And then a week later, the same thing happened again. And finally, my wife said, I'm tired of cleaning up this dog every single time we get home. I'm going to leave her out. Close up the bedroom door so she doesn't get into any of the kids' things, but we're going to leave her out to roam the living room and kitchen. And they came home, and nothing had happened. They came home to a very, very happy little puppy. So my wife figured that was a fluke, but it worked out. Let's try this again. Sure enough, the next time she went out, no problems. Came home, clean puppy, clean house. The reason why I bring up this story is because if you want your freedom, if you want to be free, at some point here, Maybe pooping our pants might not be the right move, but we might have to get dirty. And what do I mean by that? Well, maybe we need a protest, or maybe we need to not abide by new laws or new rules that come up that aren't fair or aren't just. Just something I want to be thinking about myself and would like for you guys out there listening to think about as well. Freedom is not safe. And safety is not the same as freedom. And if you truly want to be free, you need to be fully willing to take on the risks involved. So that's it. I do appreciate those who've tuned in. Please subscribe and hang around. If you like this, leave a comment for me. If you've got a topic or an idea, shoot it out there, and we will move forward from here, as always. So as I always end it, hold fast, and God bless.